Shahar, as far back as I can think, around 2017, we were discussing the whole concept of shifting left, but I don't hear so much of the shift left discussion anymore. Is that because everyone's done it?
When you shift left, the first thing that you shift, it's not the technology, it's not the gates, it's the responsibility. And just by saying a tool can do a shift left to the gates in the code or where you put the right protection points, it's less important than the process itself. Are you acknowledging the fact that developers will become responsible and accountable for everything they deliver from security point of view? Or are you still putting the right people and personnel to make sure they're professional security people who can look into what really needs to be fixed, what really needs to be solved?
Explain what you're doing over at Backslash Security.
We reduce dramatically the number of issues that needs to be handled in a security program because we find out in our research team that most of the findings that are found during the development process are actually false positives, are actually things that will never be reached by the code. 80 to 90% out of the open source packages that you bring to your code are not actually being used. So a developer brought in a framework. He took the liberty or asked the architect to bring in a certain framework. It brings 100, sometimes more transitive dependencies into packages that no one else is using in the project. However, all the different noisy scanners will let you know they're vulnerable and needs to be fixed, while no one is using them.
So really, you're looking at what is being exposed.
Absolutely. And the way we're doing it is by having a very new technology to understand code. So just like compilers did it in the past, and analyzing and breaking down the different paths inside the code, and by that have a different brain of understanding how the software works. This is how we look at the code. And based on that, it's very easy to understand what's risky versus the things that are just, will never be accessed. And once we have this picture, it brings a new world of opportunity in terms of features.
Would it be appropriate to summarize what, your approach or the Backslash approach to securing the CI/CD pipeline as you're really only securing the code that needs to be secure and essentially delivering the patches at the time that they're needed?
Yeah, I think these are the two main benefits that you will see with this technology. That once the numbers are being reduced dramatically, the entire process seems much more lightweight. You know how many combinations you have to all the, a 10 item list? It's like more than 3 million ways to rank it and prioritize it. Just the 10 simple items you have on your to-do list. So just imagine what happens when you ask a simple task of prioritizing the next 100 or 1,000 vulnerabilities you have. It's humanly impossible to do that without the right tooling. So once the numbers are reduced dramatically to the only one that matters, the entire process becomes more efficient, and the roles and responsibility between AppSec, DevOps, and developers becomes much more manageable.
If you, our audience, would like to know more about how to improve the development of your pipeline and securing that development, then check out what they're doing over at Backslash. The web address for Backslash Security is right there. It's just backslash.security.